going to be a brief introduction to both academic format and style, and specifically APA. I have a separate presentation on MLA that is an overview and an introduction to MLA, the two most common academic styles and formats used in college. There's a third called Chicago that is often used in history and government and those kinds of courses that I won't be going into. So why do we use academic style and format anyway? First reason is that your instructor will require it, but there's a reason why there is this history going back more than 100 years, and that is to help both students and researchers and instructors and professors communicate complex ideas in a way that makes them least likely to be challenged. In other words, it instills into the process a discipline that requires research and a certain approach to the writing and a uniform approach to how you cite sources and how you qualify sources, so that we are essentially putting each other on the same page. So here's a brief overview of APA. This is not intended to be a complete description of APA style. This is just an introduction. So APA style is from the American Psychological Association. It is a very common format and style used in communication classes and in similar kinds of coursework. And it's been around a long time, and it has a very specific and distinctive approach to how you put your essays or your papers together, how you cite your research both in the text and on the references page. And it also is an approach to how to actually write the material in a way that is clear and substantial. The first place I always recommend that folks go to when they are learning APA style is Purdue University's online writing lab. It's kind of the gold standard for students to learn the basics and to have a resource that will help them understand what APA is all about. There's even a citation generator, and I'll talk about that here in a moment. But it provides some samples. It provides a great overview on how to use APA. So I always recommend that students start with Purdue OWL. It talks about the formatting. So where do the page numbers go? How do you do your paragraphs? How do you include in-text citations? All of the basics. When you're done with an essay or paper in APA style, I always recommend that you, before you submit it, go back and review it with Purdue OWL on one screen, and then open your second tab and have your paper there, and go back and forth and make sure that you've got it right. Citation generators can be helpful, but you always, if you're using a citation generator, make sure that when you're done, you're checking how that citation came out with how it should look, and Purdue OWL is the best source for that. To review, Purdue OWL will provide you, and this is true for MLA as well, provide you an overview of both how to prepare, how to write your essays and papers, and how to do the research and how to cite the research appropriately. There are other resources available to you. In my classes, the textbook will also have information on APA and MLA style. The CEI library has a copy of the hardback or the actual printed version of the formats and styles. You can always go. APA has its own website that has a nice overview of how to use it. Of course, I've already discussed citation generators and how they can be helpful to you. Citation generators are essentially a form of AI, and they can mess up. And so you need to be responsible for your work. The image at the top of this screen comes from the APA website. And so you can see that there is a great website there that you can go to and get a lot of background and a lot of help on how to use APA appropriately. So in conclusion, two things to remember. One, you have a lot of tools available to you to help you use the assigned style and format, APA, MLA, or Chicago, if you're using that, which there are plenty of tools available for you for any of these. But like the use of any tools, they can be misused and you're still responsible for the outcome. So you don't get to blame the hammer if you put the nail in the wrong place. Same idea here. Use the tools, use what you have available to you, but understand that at the end of the day, when you submit, the final outcome is your responsibility.